If I asked you to name the most famous number in the world, you'd probably say pi, and you'd probably be right. But have you ever wondered what a number actually has to do to become famous? Because when you go through the list of the most celebrated numbers in mathematics, you find they got there in the strangest ways. One of them was such a disturbing discovery that, according to legend, the man who found it was thrown off a boat. One of them has been studied for almost 300 years, and we still can't answer the most basic question you could ask about it. And the last one on this list is famous for a reason that sounds impossible. We know exactly what it is, and we've proven that nobody, ever, will be able to write it down. So let's go through them, one by one, starting with the number that supposedly got someone killed. The square root of 2. First, what does square root of 2 even mean? It means the number that gives you 2 when you multiply it by itself. That's all. So let's actually hunt for it together. Is it 1? No, 1 times 1 is 1, too small. Is it 2? No, 2 times 2 is 4, too big. So it's somewhere in between. Try 1.5, that gives 2.25. Still too big. Try 1.4, that gives 1.96. Ooh, just barely too small. So it's between 1.4 and 1.5. Try 1.41, then 1.414, and you can keep squeezing like this forever, getting closer and closer. And here is the amazing thing. You never, ever land on it exactly. The digits keep coming. 1.41421356, with no end and no pattern. Where would you ever meet such a number? Draw a square, 1 meter on every side, and draw the diagonal, corner to corner. The length of that diagonal is exactly the square root of 2. And let me show you why, because it's the most famous rule in geometry. Pythagoras. In a right triangle, the square built on the longest side has the same area as the two smaller squares added together. Look at our triangle. The two short sides are both 1, so their squares have area 1 and 1. Add them, 2. So the square sitting on the diagonal has area 2, which means the diagonal itself must be the number that multiplies by itself to give 2, the exact number we were just hunting. So this isn't some invented monster, it's sitting inside every square you've ever seen. Now here's why this number made history. For the Greeks, every number was a fraction, one whole number divided by another. So they tried to write this diagonal as a fraction. 3 over 2, that's 1.5. Wrong. 7 over 5, 1.4. Wrong. 99 over 70, incredibly close. Still wrong. And then came the discovery. Someone proved that no fraction works. Not one out of infinitely many. A number that simply isn't a fraction. Today we call numbers like that irrational, and the square root of 2 was the very first one humans ever found. It upset the Greeks so much that, according to legend, the discoverer was thrown off a boat. That's the whole story, one sentence, but it tells you how shocking this number once was. One last thing, because you've held this number today without knowing. A4 paper, the standard sheet, is exactly square root of 2 times longer than it is wide. Why that shape? Because it's the only shape that survives folding. Fold A4 in half, and the half has the exact same proportions. Fold again. Same shape again. Printers depend on this every single day, and it only works because of the square root of 2. 0. A number that means nothing sounds useless, so let me show you the 2 jobs 0 actually does. Job 1. It's a placeholder. And this is the genius part. Look at 205. Read it out. 2 hundreds, 0 tens, 5 ones. That 0 in the middle is holding the tens column open. Delete it and the 2 slides over. Suddenly, you have 25, a totally different number. This is why we can write any number, however huge, with just 10 symbols. Each position means 10 times more, and 0 keeps empty positions from collapsing. The Romans never figured this out. Their numbers were letters, with no 0 and no positions, and that's why multiplying Roman numerals is a nightmare nobody misses. Job 2. 0 as a number in its own right, something you can calculate with. The first person to write down the rules was Brahmagupta in India in the year 628. Adding 0 changes nothing. 7 plus 0 is 7. Multiplying by 0 wipes everything out. 7 times 0 is 0. But then he reached 7 divided by 0, and I want you to see why this one breaks. Division is just a question. 6 divided by 2 asks, how many 2's fit into 6? 3. Easy. So 6 divided by 0 asks how many zeros fit into 6. Add zeros forever. 0 plus 0 plus 0, you never reach 6. The question has no answer, not infinity, no answer. Brahmagupta guessed at 1 anyway, and got it wrong. And honestly, students have been making the same guess for 13 centuries. And today, every chip in every device speaks a language with exactly 2 words, 0 and 1. Half of the digital world is the number that means nothing. Pi. Here's the cleanest way to meet pi. Take any circle, a coin, a plate, a bicycle wheel. Wrap a string once around its edge, then take the string off and lay it straight. Now ask, how many times does the distance across the circle fit into that string? The answer is 3 times, plus a little bit left over. And the magical part is that the little bit is always the same, always 0.14159 and so on of the width. Tiny coin, giant wheel. 3 and the same little bit. When something is true for every circle in the universe, it earns its own name. That's pi, 3.14159. Like the square root of 2, pi is irrational. The digits never end and never repeat. People have computed trillions of them. So here's a fair question. How many do we actually need? NASA steers spacecraft across billions of kilometers using 15 digits. 40 digits would let you measure a circle around the entire visible universe and be off by less than the width of one atom. Everything beyond 40 is pure sport. A man in Japan once recited 100,000 digits from memory, and it took him 16 hours. Wonderful, and completely unnecessary. And because every wheel, orbit, wave, and spin has a circle hiding in it, pi shows up across all of physics. It's the most famous number for a simple reason. It's the most visible one. The number E. About 2.718, and the best way to find it is with money. Imagine a very generous bank. 100% interest per year. You put in $1. A year later, it doubles to 2. Now, suppose the bank instead pays 50% twice a year. Let's do it slowly. After 6 months, your dollar grows by half, $1.50. After 12 months, that $1.50 grows by half again, and half of $1.50 is 75 cents, so you end at $2.25. Notice what happened. You earned interest on your interest. That's why it beats $2. So more often must be better, right? Monthly compounding gives 261, daily 271, every hour, every second, every instant. And here's the shock. The amount creeps up slower and slower and runs into a wall, 2.71828, and it will not pass it, no matter how often the bank pays. That wall, that exact number, is E. Jacob Bernoulli found it in 1683, doing exactly this calculation. Now, why does a bank number rule science? Because of one property. The curve built on e to the power x, grows at a speed exactly equal to its own size. Think of a snowball rolling downhill. When it's small, it picks up a little snow. When it's huge, it picks up huge amounts. Growth that feeds on itself. That's the E curve. And nature is full of it. Bacteria doubling, an epidemic spreading, radioactive material decaying, same curve mirrored. Even your coffee cooling toward room temperature. One shape, many costumes, all sewn from E. The number I. Defined by one job. I times I equals -1. Let's check why that seems impossible. Pick any number on the number line and multiply it by itself. Positive times positive, positive. Negative times negative, the minuses cancel. Positive again. So squaring never gives a negative. On the line, the equation x squared equals -1 has no solution. The Greeks would have stopped here. So would most of us. The breakthrough was a new idea. What if numbers don't have to live on a line? Put I one step above 0. Off the line, into the flat plane. Now multiplication grows a second meaning. Multiplying by I means rotating a quarter turn. Watch. Start at 1, facing right. Multiply by I. Turn 90 degrees. You're at I. Multiply by I again. Another 90. And now you're facing exactly backwards, standing on -1. 2 i's turned 1 into -1. In other words, I squared is -1. Exactly as promised. Nothing impossible happened. We just stopped insisting that numbers stay in single file. Does a sideways number matter in real life? Enormously. Because of waves. Here's the secret. Watch a point travel around a circle, but look at it from the side, and you'll see it bob up and down. A perfect wave. Waves are rotations seen edge on. So anything wavy, the alternating current in your wall, radio, Wi-Fi, your phone signal, is easiest to calculate with rotation numbers, with I. And quantum mechanics, our deepest theory of nature, isn't just helped by I. Its central equation has I written inside it. The name is the funny part. These numbers disturbed the mathematicians of the 1500s so much that Descartes branded them imaginary, as mockery. The mockery became the official term. We never renamed them. Phi. The golden ratio. 1.618. Let me give you the real definition, slowly, because it's actually lovely. Take a stick and cut it into a long piece and a short piece. Most cuts are nothing special. But there's exactly one cutting spot with a beautiful balance. The whole stick, compared to the long piece, gives the same answer as the long piece compared to the short piece. Say the long piece is 1, and the short is 0.618. The whole stick, 1.618. Now divide. 1.618 divided by 1, that's 1.618. And 1 divided by 0.618, also 1.618. The same proportion repeated at two scales. Only one number does that, and it's phi. Phi also hides in a famous list, the Fibonacci numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Each number is the sum of the two before it. Now divide neighbors. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 5 by 3, 1.67. 8 by 5, 1.6. 13 by 8, 1.625. The answers wobble, but they wobble closer and closer to exactly 1.618. Fibonacci's ladder climbs straight to phi. Now I owe you some honesty because phi is wrapped in myths. The Parthenon being designed on it? The builder's records show nothing of the sort. Seashell spirals? Measured. They don't match. The Mona Lisa? No evidence at all. People fell in love with the number and worked backwards. But the true story is better. Phi is provably the most stubborn number to approximate with fractions, the most irrational number. And sunflowers exploit this. A sunflower places each new seed a fixed turn after the previous one. If that turn were a clean fraction, say a quarter, the seeds would line up into 4 straight arms, with empty wedges between. Any fraction makes arms. So the flower turns by the angle built on phi, the number furthest from every fraction, and the seeds never line up. They pack densely, evenly, with no wasted space. That's phi in nature. Not decoration, engineering. Gamma, 0.5772. It's born from a simple sum. Add 1 plus a half plus a third plus a quarter plus a fifth. Forever. First surprise, this total never stops growing. It will pass 10, pass 100, pass any wall given time. Second surprise, it is fantastically slow. To push the total past 20, you'd need to add roughly 500 million terms. Mathematicians notice that this slow climb matches another slow climber almost perfectly, the logarithm curve. Lay the two on top of each other, and they hug. But not exactly, there's a sliver of space between them. Follow that sliver out to infinity, and it settles down to one fixed number, 0.5772. That number is gamma. Euler measured it in 1734, and it turns out to appear all over the mathematics of prime numbers. Gamma is to primes roughly what pi is to circles. Now the scandal, and it needs one piece of background. Every number is one of two kinds. Either it's secretly a fraction, like 0.75, which is just 3 over 4, or it's irrational, like pi and the square root of 2, never a fraction at all. Simple sorting question, which kind is gamma? The answer, after 290 years of trying, we do not know. We've computed hundreds of billions of digits. No mathematician seriously believes a fraction is hiding in there, but believing isn't proving, and nobody can rule out that gamma equals some monstrous fraction with a billion digits on top and bottom. The story goes that G.H. Hardy offered his Oxford professorship to anyone who settled it. Nobody ever has. And if you assume such questions stay open forever, 3 weeks ago, an 80-year-old one collapsed. I made a video about it. Which brings us to 1978, when a question just like gamma's actually fell. Apery's constant, 1.202. Build it like gamma's sum, but cube every denominator. 1 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 27 plus 1 over 64. This sum does settle at 1.2020. And before you file it under curiosities, this exact number appears inside quantum electrodynamics, in the calculation of how strongly an electron acts as a tiny magnet. One of the most precisely tested predictions in all of physics. The fraction or not question for this number sat open for 2 centuries. Then, in 1978, a French mathematician named Roger Apery, 61 years old, largely unknown, announced at a conference, "It is not a fraction, and here is the proof." The audience laughed at him, partly because his methods looked like they came from an antique drawer. Then the experts checked, line by line, hunting for the flaw. There was no flaw. One reviewer famously called the proof a mixture of miracles, and the number now carries Apery's name, permanently. The same question for fifth powers, by the way, remains open to this day. Graham's number. The largest number ever used in a serious mathematical proof. It arose as a guaranteed ceiling for the answer to a genuine puzzle about coloring connections between points. To grasp its size, we climb a ladder, and I'll keep you with me. Rung 1. 3 just means 3 times 3 times 3. That's 27. Comfortable. Rung 2. 3 means a tower of 3s, 3 high. 3 to the power of 3 to the third. The top of the tower is 27, so this is 3 to the 27th, about 7.6 trillion. One extra arrow took us from 27 to trillions. Rung 3. 3 means build a tower of 3s whose height is 7.6 trillion levels. Not the value, the height. That number has no name, no comparison, no place in physics. And Graham's number? Take this arrow game and stack it on itself 64 times, where each level uses the previous unspeakable number as its number of arrows. 2 honest facts about its size. The observable universe doesn't contain enough matter to write its digits, and if a brain could somehow memorize them, the information alone would exceed what matter can store, and the brain would collapse into a black hole. That is an actual physics calculation, not a metaphor. And the ending makes it perfect. Graham's number was only the ceiling. The real answer to the puzzle is now believed to be 13. Somewhere between 13 and the largest number ever written down, the truth quietly waits. That gap is what mathematics in progress looks like. Omega. Here's the setup, because the setup is everything. Imagine writing a computer program by pure chance, every single bit decided by a coin flip. Some random programs finish their run and stop, others get stuck and loop forever. Omega is defined as the probability that a random program eventually stops. That's a real number, between 0 and 1, with exact digits. It's roughly 0.0078 for one standard setup, and it measures something real about computation itself. Now the astonishing part. In 1936, Alan Turing proved one of the deepest facts ever found. There is no general method, none, ever, that can look at every program and correctly say, this one stops, or this one loops. It's called the halting problem, and it's not unsolved. It's proven unsolvable. Here's the connection. If you knew Omega's digits, you could build exactly that forbidden method. So the conclusion is airtight and absurd at the same time. Omega's digits exist. They're sitting there, mathematically defined, and no person, no civilization, no computer, present or future, can ever calculate them. Not because it's hard, because logic itself forbids it. Every number tonight became famous when someone finally understood it. Omega is famous because we proved that understanding it is impossible. That's the list. And I can already feel the comments forming about the numbers I left out, so go ahead, make the case for yours. If this was your kind of thing, there's more here.